Hello everyone. Myself Anjali Dikshit, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Juridical Sciences, Rama University, Kanpur. So friends, today's topic is Introduction of Company Law. Historical development of company laws in India. Company legislation in India owes its origin to the English company laws. The Companies Acts passed from time to time in India have been following the English Companies Acts with certain modifications. Even the Companies Act 1956 is set closely followed the United Kingdom Companies Act 1948. Merchant guilds. 11th to 13th centuries were called the merchant guilds. These guilds obtain charters from the crown mainly to secure for their members a monopoly in respect of particular trade or commodity. These associations were either formed a commanda or societas. Commanda operated in form of partnership, the financier being a sleeping partner with limited liability. Societas, all the members took part in the management of the trade and had limited liability more in line with present day partnership. In the 14th century, the word company was adopted by certain merchants for trading overseas. This was more or less an extension of the merchant guilds in foreign trade. By the end of 16th century, royal charters granted monopoly to trade to members of the company over a certain territory. These companies were called as regulated companies. East India Company was one of such regulated companies established by a charter in 16th century. It had monopoly of trade in India. Its members could carry on trade individually and had the option to subscribe to the joint fund or stock of the company. History of company legislation in India. Company legislation in India has closely followed the company legislation in England. The first legislative enactment for registration of joint stock companies were passed in the year 1850, which was based on the English Companies Act 1844. Limited liability concept in India was recognized for the first time by the Companies Act 1857, which is closely following the English Companies Act 1856. In 1866, the Company Act 1866 was passed for consolidating and amending the law relating to incorporation, regulation and binding up of trading companies and other association was based on the English Companies Act 1862 and continued till 1930. The Act of 1913 had been passed following the English Companies Consolidation Act 1908. Till 1956, the business companies in India were regulated by the Act of 1913. Although certain amendments were, however, made in the years 1914, 1915, 1920, 1926, 1930 and 1932. The Act was extensively amended in 1936 on the lines of the English Companies Act 1929. Independent India's Company Law. Bhabha Committee. At the end of 1950, the Government of Independent India appointed a committee under the chairmanship of H.C. Bhabha to go into the entire question of the revision of the Indian Companies Act with particular reference to its bearing on the development of Indian trade and industry and submitted its report in March 1952. Indian Companies Act 1956 also followed the English Companies Act 1948. The Companies Act 1956 has been amended several times since then. The major amendments were introduced in the year 1960, 1962, 1963, 1964, 1988 and 1991. Companies Amendment Act 1999 come to assures the capital market by boosting morale of national business houses beside encouraging FIs as well as FDI in the country. Committees and amendment in companies laws in India. 1960 In 1960, on the recommendation of Sastry Committee, Companies Amendment Act 1960 introduced several new provisions relating to various aspects of company management which were overlooked in the 1956 Act. 1963 related to appointment of a company's tribunal and constitution of Board of Companies Law Administration. 1965 amendment is based on the recommendations of the Bevan-Bose Commission. Introduce clear definition of the main and subsidiary objects of a company in its Memorandum of Association, strengthening the provisions relating to investigation into the affair of the company. The 1969 amendment managing agents and secretaries and treasurer were abolished with effect from April 3, 1970, and contributions by companies to any political party or for any political purpose were prohibited. By the 1974 Company Amendment Act's object of this amendment is to inject an element of public interest in the working of the corporate sector. 1985 Amending Act substituted Section 293A of the Companies Act 1956 with a new section permitting non-government companies to make political contributions directly or indirectly. 1988 Expert Committee, Sachar Committee, first time the definition of secretary brought in line with the definition of company secretary in the Company Secretaries Act 1980. The concept of company secretary in practice was introduced for the first time by this amendment. 1999 Companies allowed to issue sweat equity shares and to buy back their own securities. Facility for nomination provided for the benefit of share debenture, deposit holder and investor, education and protection fund to be established. National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standards for companies to be established. Prior approval of central government not required for intercorporate investment, leading proposal subject to certain condition. Through 2000 Companies Laws Amendment Act, private companies and public companies to have a minimum paid up capital of rupees 1 lakh and 5 lakh respectively. Change of place of registered office from the jurisdiction of one registrar of companies to another registrar of companies within the same state requires confirmation from the regional director. SEBI given powers regarding issue and transfer of securities and non-payment of dividend by listed public companies. Preferential offer, private placement of securities of 50 persons or more treated as public issue. This shall not apply to a preferential offer made by public financial institutions and NBFCs. Provisions relating to self-prospectus and information memorandum issue of equity share capital, and differential rights as to dividend, voting, or otherwise included. Every listed company making initial public offer of any security for a sum of rupees 10 crore or more will have to issue the same only in a dematerialized form. 2002 introduced National Company Law Tribunal. National Company Law Tribunal is to be constituted instead of existing Company Law Board. Appeals against the orders of the tribunal can be filed with the appellate tribunal. Appeal against the orders of the appellate tribunal would lie to the Supreme Court. Transfer of certain powers of the High Court to the tribunal. Transfer of powers relating to binding up, merge, and amalgamations from court to the tribunal. 2006 Companies Laws Amendment Act. DIN to be obtained by all existing directors are mandatory, and every other person intending to become a director. All the provisions of Information Technology Act 2000 relating to the electronic record, insofar as they are not inconsistent with the Companies Act, shall apply to the record in electronic form. This means the amendment of 2006 introduced e-governance in companies sector. 2004 and J.J. Irani report to achieve global competitiveness. 2013, the Companies Bill 2012 were assented to by the President of India on 29th August 2013 and notified in Gazette of India on 30th August 2013. It finally became the Company Act 2013, which have total 470 section, 29 chapter and 7 schedules. Companies Act 2013's new concept are introduced as associated company, one-person company, small company, dormant company, independent director, women director, resident director, special court, secretarial standards, secretarial audit, class action suit, registered valuer, rotation of auditors, vigil mechanism, corporate social responsibility, cross-border mergers, prohibition of insider trading. In 2019, there was introduced a Companies Amendment Act 2019. Amendment Act received the assent of the President on the 31st July 2019. The main reforms undertaken through the ordinance include recategorizing of offences which are in the category of compoundable offences to an in-house adjudication framework. No change has been made in respect of any of the non-compoundable offences. Declogging the NCLT by enlarging the jurisdiction of regional director, by enhancing the pecuniary limits up to which they can compound offences under section 441 of the Companies Act, vesting the central government the power to approve the alteration in the financial year of a company under section 2 clause 41, and vesting the central government the power to approve cases of conversion of public companies into private companies. Reintroduction of declaration of commencement of business provision, greater accountability with respect to filing documents related to creation, modification, and satisfaction of charges, non-maintenance of registered office to trigger deregistration process, holding of directorships beyond permissible limits to trigger disqualification of such directors. In declogging of NCLT, when enlarging the jurisdiction of regional director by enhancing the pecuniary limits up to which they can compound offence under section 441 of the Act. Power of regional director to compound offence punishable increased up to 25 lakh pre-amendment, where the maximum amount of fine which may be imposed for such offence did not exceed 5 lakh rupees. Such offence was compounded by the regional director or any officer authorized by the central government. Though the amendment were where the maximum amount of fine which may be imposed by such offence does not exceed 25 lakh rupees, such offence shall be compounded by the regional director or any officer authorized by the central government. Some important changes are made by amendment of 2019 are vesting in the central government the power to approve the alteration in the financial year of a company under section 2 clause 41, vesting the central government the power to approve cases of conversion of public companies into private companies, insertion of new section 10A, commencement of business, etc. Section 26, the requirement of registration of prospectus with the registrar of companies has been done away with. Instead, the prospectus would be filled with the registrar. Section 35, the reference of registration of prospectus with the registrars is replaced by filling of copy of prospectus with the registrar. Section 132, Constitution of National Financial Reporting Authority, NAFRA. NAFRA to perform its functions through such divisions as may be prescribed by the central government. Executive body of NAFRA shall consist of the chairperson and full-time members for efficient discharge of its certain functions. Debarring of the member of firm from being appointed as an auditor or internal auditor, etc., or performing any valuation under section 247 by NAFRA in case professional or other misconduct is proved. Section 135, corporate social responsibility of companies related. By this section, in case the unspent amount does not relate to any ongoing project, unspent amounts to be transferred to a fund specified under Schedule 7 within a period of 6 months of the expiry of the financial year. In case the unspent amount relates to any ongoing project subject to fulfilling of prescribed conditions, unspent amounts to be transferred by the company within a period of 30 days from the end of the financial year to a special account to be opened by the company in that behalf for that financial year in any scheduled bank to be called the unspent corporate social responsibility account. Such amount shall be spent by the company in pursuance of its obligation towards the corporate social responsibility policy within a period of 3 financial years from the date of such transfer, failing which the company shall transfer the same to a fraud specified in Schedule 7 within a period of 30 days from the date of completion of the 3rd financial year. The company who breach this rule are punishable with fine which shall not be less than rupees 50,000 but which may extend to rupees 25 lakh. Every officer of such company who is in default shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years or with fine which shall not be less than rupees 50,000, but which may extend to rupees 5 lakh or with both. Ministry of Corporate Affairs empowered to give general or special direction to a company or a class of companies as it considers necessary to ensure compliance of provisions of this section. Thank you. If you have any query, kindly mail me.